So I got first place at a different locals. I wanted to try out something different with people I don't know and don't know how I play to counteract what I'm doing. Ended up getting first place, and like game one, I played a certain way. Game two, without having to change up the deck, I played different strategies in it, and they were like, "Oh, it doesn't feel like the same deck you just played." And it's like, cause you want to have your deck do a few different things and a few different options. So there's a link line, there's a synchro line, which is the main thing. I have some exceeds and a fusion that caught them off guard, and sometimes they just can't get over dragoon. So it's good to just have different options and different things to do differently. So when they think you're playing just the same deck, the same line, and that's it, you can change it up, and then their hand traps become inefficient. So I'm gonna get into deck profile, and I was waiting to get these two. Wifey got these two field centers for me, and I think it's fire. So I got these in the mail today, so that's why I'm making the video. And she also got me this token for Druid Worm. 100 Apple token. So I think they're fire, especially this one. This one came with it. They were like $11 on eBay. So it's pretty cool. And I'm gonna show you two different combo lines that just go into the same thing. And I feel hand traps, if you're playing them, should play into your combo. Like, it's used for your deck to be defensive and not just to stop the other opponent. But all the hand traps are in the side deck, -1 Nibiru. But if we get Nibiru'd, I'm gonna show you a line that goes past it and goes right back into the combo, as well as the Horus stuff with 100 Apple to go into the combo and stuff like that. Like two different combos that I thought they were cool, and playing it my way with the Stardust Assault Mode package was pretty cool. So let's do this real fast so we can get into that. So I'm playing two walls. Terraforming, you can search either if you need this for the setup. I normally use this for setup and going into the Centur-ion stuff, and then if I go back to my turn and they survive the negates and stuff, I might activate a second one and just push for game. 3 King Sarks. I put one Canopic Protector back. I love using this with the link play. I'll show you. 1 Horus the Black Flame. 3 Setis. Dofmutat. Hoppy. And Protection. Going with this to Synchro is the 2 Ringleworm. And you can, the turn, this is sent to the graveyard. When you summon it to Synchro, to go into a Synchro play, you can banish it. And it doesn't have to be that turn, but if it's in the graveyard and you Synchro summon that turn, you can banish it to get a level 2 token that's a light. So you can use it to just further get a free Synchro on field. So mainly what made me want to use the deck is just to turn into Synchros was these two. So I was having these two around and I loved having them. I love using this when I was playing it before in my other deck, and then Chaos Angel's just broken, and sometimes these two on the field just stops your opponent from doing anything. So I wanted to make Synchros for it. So that's why I wanted to go the Synchro Centur-ion line with the horror stuff. But the main focus is the horror stuff. Then I'm using a small package for the Stardust Assault mode. So 2 emergency teleports, 1 Side Reflector, 1 Assault Beast, and 1 Assault mode activate. Since his goes into it, this would give you a 1 whole card play, like I've showcased the combo online, to just go into just this by itself, going into him, searching this discarding itself to go in 1 card full Centur-ion. Plus I wanted something like if I got Nibiru and stuff, I'm like Nibiru's 11, I wanted a 1 tuner which will go into the 12 synchros. So I just sorted this and put it in. and I'm not using Assault Sentinel because he locks you into synchros. I don't like to be on the restrictions while I'm playing. Then 1 Trudea, 1 Primera, 1 Alteri. I love using this card, and most times I put this on the field and continue to go off full combo, and this will turn one of their hand traps into a plus for me. 1 Gargoyle, 1 stand up, 2 oaths, since I have that to go into it fully. And it's like more stuff, so I have so much stuff that when I get hand trapped even 3 times, I'll continue going with something else, and then be like, damn, there's no stopping your deck, because there's like, it's so many cards that's just engines and keep going into the same thing. Wake Up, and Pollux, and Synchro Rumble for the Synchro package. And like I said, just like sometimes I was playing certain cards, if it gets Ash, sometimes you're just sitting there. So like, why not put just a bunch of things, and if they Ash Primera, then I can use the Horus stuff, discard the Horus card, and I can bring it back and then go and continue with the Centur-ion line. Two Dualities has multiple functions, but you can turn the Synchro Primerama into Dragoon. 1 Vanity's Ruler, 1 Nibiru, just in case I have it, I can just use it. Or if they Nibiru me when I'm doing like the horror stuff, then I can just go Assault Sentinel, Emergency Teleport, and I'll show you that combo. 2 deck letdowns. I went first in almost all my games. Secret Village, shut down spell cards. They can't really play, especially if we go into Primera or Horus on Memseti. They just, most decks are just spell cards. And Call by the Grave. That's it for the 40 card deck. Then I, like I said, Chaos Angel, Chingling, which made me want to make the Horus into synchros. 1 Primera, 1 Auxiliary, 2 Legama, Crimson Dragon, 2 Blazar, 1 Red Supernova. Getting up synchros, this is part of like a 1 card OTK that's needed if you want to go second and they're wide open. Then we have Coach to draw, burn, Galaxy Eyes, and Hope. So even if you went full combo, you have so many cards in hand, then you use the Memseti card, the horror stuff, and then you can send all 4 to the graveyard because you have so much card advantage going off of the Centur-ion line, where you can set up 1 Blazar, and then you can use all the horror stuff and then go into 2 more negates, and then on their turn summon another Blazar. That's 4 negates. Most of the times they can't play into that. And if you leave Primera on the field, while you have the spell card, you can turn her into Dragoon, which will give you another negate, and Typologic Palmer Dragon. So when I use this, they're like, oh, did you change up your whole deck? Like, it seems like you're playing 2 different decks. There was no game the same. But I'll use this if I have the trap card, because every time they'll activate a monster effect, I can activate the trap, bring back one of the Horus where it points to, it'll blow up the field, but the Horus won't be destroyed since this non-target destroys, which King Sark protects them. And there's a line where if you do the Centur-ion stuff and leave enough monsters on the field, you can still go into this. Then you can bring back any of the big synchros with the trap card, since it was sent to the graveyard for this. Putting it further away, put Primera in the back road and Gargoyle. If you have both of them, which you should, then on their turn you can special summon Gargoyle while Primera's still in the back row to where it points to, It will trigger its effect, but Primera protects your Centurions that are 5 and higher from being destroyed by card effect. So you'll blow up the field, and then you can just special summon her somewhere it doesn't point to. Or like I said, just using the Horus stuff to go into it. So the combo is defensive wise. We would see if we have this in hand, and whether you Nibiru them or you got Nibiru'd. Obviously this was to be on the field, or let's say they Nibiru'd you. Then you get the token, and I like to use it in any other scenario. It will be going off of this, and then this will make it full combo, because you will go assault emergency teleport to bring out Side Reflective. So this is already a 12, but you would use his effect, search our Assault Beast, use Assault Beast effect, discard it to search Assault mode activate. So this is in hand. Then you Side Reflective's other effect, targeting Assault Sentinel, bring back Assault Beast, make it a level 8 because you're gonna use it in the future, because this will bring it back. So make it an 8, then you're gonna synchro the 11 plus 1, it's 12. This is originally what I thought of the idea. I just wanted a level 1 tuner. So then you synchro. I go for Auxilia. Searches out the field spell. So now you have the field spell and you have your discard. So you play the field card, discard, two sets, True Day in the background. Then, you know, True Day special summons herself, she puts herself back. Bring out Primera, Primera special summons herself. You do not use the effect here, because if you want to go into Crimson, you don't, the spell card to bring her back won't work, because she used her effect, and if she uses her effect, she can't be special summoned. So you special summon her here without using her effect, and then you synchro. Since this is an 8 because of Side Reflector, you have another 12 here. So you'll synchro for Chrism, use both of his effects, targeting, bounce back. You have a negate, and you searched Synchro Rumble. So now that you have Synchro Rumble off of Crimson, now you can play Synchro Rumble to bring back Primera in defense mode. Then you activate her effect. And you search a Wake Up. Play Wake Up, you can go into another 8, or you can go into the 4, so you can keep doing other things. So I go into the 4 to synchro with her and the level 4 token. You special Primera. Then you get Primera's effect, which will search Oath. And then you'll banish the Wake Up from graveyard to send the trap. Then I would play Oath for Auxilia, Altary. Now you're locked into synchros, obviously, because you play this, so while this is on the field. So then you would special summon with her effect. You draw a card, whatever it is. Obviously my deck's not shuffled, but you draw a card. And then you can synchro these two, since you're locked into Centur-ion stuff anyways. But if this is used as synchro material, you can count it as a normal monster. So you can synchro Primera as the tuner and her as a normal monster to go for another 12. And then, you know, when this hits the field, you draw another card. So off of playing Nibiru defensively, or if you get Nibiru'd, you can still play emergency teleport to just at least you get 3 out of losing all the resources. And since you didn't do nothing to lock you in before, like if you went into your Horus stuff and then you overextended and they Nibiru you, at least from the Nibiru token and emergency teleport, you can at least have this and whatever 2 cards you drew. You can also just banish the trap to just bring back Primera. Now, since the deck is not shuffled, I just drew 2 random cards. So this is hand and this is the field. Off of turning the Nibiru into something that falls right back into the deck strategy. The other combo is showing the Horus line going into the Centur-ion stuff. So it will be basically your synchro climbing. But let's say you have these 2 or whatever combination of, you just need a Centur. Oh no, you need. This is the main card that's gonna help you link synchro climb. So you need at least, you know, a way to get into your King's Arc, and then at least a Jewel's Worm. Like if you had nothing else, like let's say you have this list these 3. You know, use this effect. You get King's Arc, and you get a random regular card. I'm just gonna take one randomly. Then you play your King's Arc. You bring back copy, let's say. Then you would normal summon. And then this is a random card, so you synchro into your 10. Because the Horus are 8, so plus 2 is 10. For those who don't want to think or whatever. I like going into him, so that way I can save Chaos Angel on a follow-up or depending on my hand. Now, since you synchro summon the turn this is in the graveyard, you can banish this, and you get a level 2 light tuner. You basically get another one, so you get a 2-for-1 tuner special. And then obviously you go the 10 plus the 2 is 12. So yet again, go into Auxilia so you can search the spell, the field spell. I looked just to make sure I didn't have a field spell. So within it, you have the field spell and you have the discard. So same crap all over again. You discard for the field spell. Should have just had everything together. And you go in through the same line of Tradea, special summon herself, puts herself in the back row. But here you can change it up, because now you have Primera. Primera special summons herself. Now you don't have the other card to synchro with it, so you need her to search at this point. So you won't bring her back when Crimson. So you can go. I was trying to think of which line I want to go to, but I'm like, you can search the spell so you can get more out of it, I want to say. And then you can play the spell since you know you have one in the back row. You can go into a 4 or 8. But if you want to go the new synchro line, it's like go 4, synchro this with that. So you can go Primus. Then you obviously get Primus's effect. get your oath. You can banish the spell card from graveyard. You can get Horus in the graveyard so you can recycle her. You can play oath. I want to say, let's say Axilla. I mean Alteria. I'm so botching their name. And then since, you know, Oath is in the graveyard and it's in a Centur-ion card, you can special summon herself, draw a random card, then you can Synchro. Since you're locked into Synchros, you can go into Legacia, and then this is a random card, and then you draw another card off of that. Then you can banish the trap from graveyard, bring her back, and then if, let's see what these are, you can go from here if you want, or you could just hit them with the lock. But obviously you'll have what, 2 more cards in hand if you went first and went into this. But this shuts down most decks. These will get you back too, so on their turn you'll get a negate, and basically that. And I was just having the only conversation, even though she doesn't play, with wifey, that Yu-Gi-Oh, because there's so many deck profiles and everything, you know what to stop them, how to stop them, and everything online. But when Yu-Gi-Oh originally came out, you didn't know what your opponent had or was being played unless somebody told you, or you went through the motion of learning from it by losing to it. But now it's like everybody has deck profiles online, and like there's decks of how to stop cards and everything else. But back in the day, before you had all this information and people making deck profiles, it was cheating to know what your opponent had to go in prepared for their decks. Give me a second. I was putting this back in order. What the hell? What was it? Oh, they're face down. So I basically have links, fusions, exceeds, and Synchro. I managed to incorporate everything into the deck. But it was considered cheating, point blank, to have prior knowledge of what deck you're going against and putting everything else in to counteract it. So like you would win because you knew what they had and how to counteract it, and you had everything to counteract that. But then you would lose because you'll come across decks that were rogue and not the deck that you had everything built to counter. So then when you face these other decks, you lose to them, but you would win because you had the right counters prepared for certain decks. And now it's just like an open state of everybody's making profiles, and you know what's being played, so you know how to counteract that. So you might have everything in your deck to counteract certain decks, but then you completely lose to other decks because they're not what you have. And I've been hand trapped like 3 times, and I still continue to play because I have engine on top of engine that goes into the same thing, the main strategy of the deck. And it's like, all right, you're gonna ash one thing, all right, they impermanent another thing, I'm gonna still keep playing. And they're like, oh, your deck still keeps going, because I'm like, I don't want to play real hand traps because I want to see my strategy. And there's people that play hand traps and all you see is hand traps, and they'll lose because they don't see their strategy, or they're so fixated on just winning against certain decks that when they come across you and you're more of a rogue player, you blindside them and you get free wins. And then, you know, they drop out of tournaments because they don't have a perfect win rate, but they would have if they had everything just to counteract what was being played. But if they actually saw their strategy, like sometimes your strategy just does what it does and they can't stop it. So I'm like just having the only conversation of damn. People are just putting in hand traps so the other deck can't play when you're not playing your own deck at all. You're just having a counter deck. So like, what's the point? So I'm having fun. I'm playing with the horror stuff, which is what I really want to play with. But they don't do nothing by themselves, especially now that people know how to deal with them. So I'm using other things and other ways to just be annoying. And I'm getting wins because I'm blindsiding stuff and people are prepared for like Razio or the Malice card or something else. And they're not prepared for me. So I'm just blindsiding, just getting free wins. But it's like, that's what happens when you put in everything to counteract Pacific decks. So like, all right, you go into a tournament, they're saying, oh, Razio is going to be there and just Malice. But there's a lot of people who want to play decks they love. So you're going to lose to all of them because you're only prepared to counteract the other two. So you're getting blindsided about the other ones. And it's like I said, before it was considered cheating because you're not supposed to have knowledge of the other person's deck. But you go in blind and it's like, all right, you make your deck, your strategy and everything. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to throw in some Mirror Force just in case they attack me with something that's a little bigger than my monster. Or Dark Holes and Regekis to get rid of stuff and then go into my own strategy. But it was minimum to have certain things to protect your deck that let your deck just go into itself and go off. So like with the Nibiru, like I showed you, I can use it defensively, but with Side Reflector, I can use it just to go straight into the combo back. I can use Ringo Worm with the horror stuff just to go right into the combo. And sometimes it's such a simplified game state when I just negate stuff and they went so hard just to evenly go stuff, then I'll just summon the horror stuff back and push for game. But I'm having fun. I really love these. So I can't wait to just start going into more. These field centers are dope. And the token. But I'm extremely competitive, but I like playing what I love. And just making it to piss off the meta. And again, majority of the games is because they don't have knowledge on what to do to stop me unless they become familiar with me as an individual. And it's my locals or another locals I go to too much. You learn to adapt to the person by like, all right, they're playing this, then let me side in this to stop them. But you're not playing your deck. So that's it. Play what you love what you play, and just think outside the box. Latest.